Hey, all you supernaturals out there. It's your girl Denise, and I'm coming to you today with the video on the year-end review in hair braiding and all the laws and legislation and some of the changes that have came about in 2019 that's moving us forward to 2020. Um, I wanted to talk to you about all of the registration requirements that have changed to free hair braiders more with the braid freedom movement. Now, here is the first one. This one is removing hair braiding registrations and licensing requirements for Black women at risk in Minnesota. This is actually an article that I wrote to Minnesota spokesman recorder on the legislation in Minnesota for the Bill H 140 that removed the hair braiding registrations for hair braiders in Minnesota. However, it did not address the CDC preventions for like HIV, HPV, which some people don't know a lot about, and that's the uterine cancer that Black women are dying from HCV, from HSV, which is a herpes. So while women are still allowed to use the needle and not be registered, they still need to know some health, safety, and sanitation um, prevention techniques for blood-borne exposures. And that's when I went to the Minnesota legislation to tell them about the hair braiders. It was at least 350 hair braiders. It was 15 uh, people that registered hair braiders. So at this point in time, right now in Minnesota, to keep the Board of Cosmetology from actually issuing you any type of fines or trying to inspect your salon, you will need to register with the Eco Hair Braiders Association, get your sticker to put in your window so that you can have your protections to keep them from unlawfully inspecting your salon illegally. Okay, now let's move to the next thing that I want to talk about in hair braiding. This one is on the Essence magazine. They are working with Institute of Justice, which all of everyone is across the board because Institute of Justice is against occupational licensing, which is a problem. However, you also still need to have some type of certification or some type of training so that you don't be pulling people edges out with traction alopecia, so that you don't cross contaminate yourself by sticking yourself with needles, and you don't know if your client have any type of contractable disease. It could be something as minor as ringworm. So, in this article with Essence, they're coming out and they're telling you instantly in the article. Let me get up here to the top. I was reading it. It's twisting the dream. So, in the dream is for her braiders to not have to do anything but register or just get the state assumed name for their business. However, in two states that are covered in this article, it is the state of Nevada, which wants 250 hours for a hair braider, as well as it's the state of New Jersey that just instituted a hair braiding registration that's a license. They're saying now instead of untangling the hair braider's dream, it has gotten twisted. So some states have a license and some states don't have a license. And they want to petition more through the Institute of Justice so that hair braiders don't have a license at all. But in order to do that, they're going to have to get this assembly woman, Angela McKnight, to get rid of the new agency that she has that has a regulation for 40 to 50 hours for a specialty license. That means that a hair braider from Minnesota or a hair braider from any other state, Tennessee, anywhere that they have deregulated it down to no license, will still need to go get a license if they want to go to New Jersey and practice, or if they want to go to New Jersey and have an event license or anything like that. They still have to talk to the powers that be in New Jersey and do some form of specialty licensing training in order to be a hair braid. Now, that moves us to the next regulation that I'm concerned with in 2020. This regulation is untangling the regulation that has been tangled in knots. As you can see, they're using all the words that belong to hair braiding: twisted, braids, knots. Soon they're going to be on weaving because that's the goal. Okay. Now, with this untangling the regulations of hair braiding and leaving some professionals in knots. Well, in this article covers the state of Tennessee. Now, in Tennessee, they used to have a license and they used to have regulation that caused the hair braiders to have a hardship of going to school for 300 hours and having to get the license and passing with the cosmetology boards. Now, we all know that the state of Minnesota set precedent on the cosmetology boards and stated that the cosmetology boards were not to regulate hair braiders, not even the governor, no one, nothing but the entities and the individuals that would be hair braiders. So in this case, they understand that the state set precedents, so now they're causing the hair braiders to just have to register and not get a license. And from the confusion and the misconception, now you have women that feel as if they have some type of issue because they don't have a piece of paper or a title to brand themselves. So they feel as if no license is not good. Now all they have to take is 16 hours of a sanitation course to continue to braid and to continue to use the needle. Here, they just have to learn the things about the H's. My women, they all know the 5 H's, and then they can move forward with getting a registration with the state and opening their salons. But since it was a confusion of the 300 hours, a lot of people are mad that the hair braiders don't have a license, when a license is a real hardship to opening up a salon and keeping yourself um, above water with licensing requirements like continuing education. It could be a lot of different things like insurance, a lot of insurance, workplace insurance, things like that that you wouldn't have to put on yourself if you just had hands training for yourself, covered yourself for malpractice or negligence, and had a registration versus it being a state requirement of a license, which may have caused you to have to put in a bond, a security bond, and other things in order to open up your school or your salon. Now, the next one that I want to talk about is the state of Louisiana. Now, here in the state of Louisiana is where I see a real argument coming about because the judge allowed this one to go to trial. Okay, now since it's going to trial, I think it may have some type of regulation being put upon it. That's just me, because this lady that owns this her braiding salon, her and her niece, um they're trying to untangle the license requirements in Louisiana. But though this lady had 20 employees at one time. She didn't have 20 independent contractors or 20 booth renters. That means booth renting and independent contractors mean that they are responsible for their own services, their own everything, their own booth, their own coming in, their own supplies, everything. However, she had employees. And under employees, OSHA has requirements as well as the federal FDA, and the Cosmetic Act has requirements for using the needle and for using like just the crochet needle, not just the suture needle that everyone uses to sew in weaves. So with her having employees, I don't know how this is going to play out, and this is one that we really, really, really need to watch because it's in the state of Louisiana. Okay. Now, this is the last one that I would like to talk about, and this is The State Board of Cosmetology and Hair Braiding proposes new laws and registration, and this is where an actual agency was created by the Assemblywoman McKnight in New Jersey. The legislation was put on the table and asked for hair braiders to be exempt. Well, the governor proposed back that no, he's not going to allow them to be exempt, and he had requirements for them to put in, which was 40 hours and 50 hours if you didn't have a hair braiding salon. And then in order to open up a hair braiding salon, you would have to work for 3 years in a salon in order to move forward with opening up your own salon. So I don't know what the Assemblywoman McKnight is looking forward to. However, since that state did move forward with creating an agency, whatever her agency creates is what I believe Louisiana will then look at and create an agency. And from that point on, we will probably have some type of forced movement towards creating an establishment for her braiders internationally and nationally versus having all these states have different hours, different regulations, different license, different registrations. We will have just one national registry that hair braiders can all go under in every state and be free, really, really be free. All right. Now, my name is Denise Jarrett. I'm the Eco Hair Braiders director. Okay. Um, I will be shooting another video for you coming up soon. What the hair braiders in Minnesota are into right now, their problems, because even though they're writing these legislations and they writing this stuff and giving you freedom, so they claim they're not stopping you from getting the fines, and they're not here coming to help you when you do get the fines. Okay, so again, my name is Denise Jarrett. You can check me out at braiderscourse.com, or you can look in the link and call me if you need to talk about how to open up your own hair braiding salon, what you can and can't do in your state, because a lot of people do not understand this new legislation, and they're telling you, oh, you can go here and you can go there and you can't. And even within that Crown Act, if you get to putting certain hairstyles on your clients and they work for certain institutions that are private or religious or non-profits, they will be getting fired. You can't just go in these places with these hairstyles and doing what you want. It's called being disshuffled. Disheveled. They got one word, okay? So when you get a chance, check out my website at braiderscourse.com or click and give me a call. But yes, these are the 4 states that I'm looking at and I'm watching this year moving forward in 2020. Bye.